We're Mike and Chelsea Sullivan, and we have Elijah, who's almost 5, and this is Evelina, who just turned, how old are you? 2. Evie is hilarious. She is like the most passionate child. She is intense on both ends of the spectrum. She can go from just being so energetic if she's upset about something, to then that same amount of energy is coiled up in sweetness that just melts your heart. It's really amazing to see the way she and our older son Elijah complement one another and build off each other, and the joy multiplies.
Yes, Evelina has humbled me in so many ways. She forgives immediately. She loves to sing. She loves reading books, loves quality time. She loves to touch. She loves to care for people. She loves to help. I'm in the kitchen and she is my right-hand girl. Big heart.
When we got married or were dating, you know, we talked about kids a lot and always knew adoption was something we, wanted to do. Chelsea, when she went on a mission trip, she went to, an island that's a little more primitive and saw a bunch of orphans and wanted to take them all home. And so that's sort of what opened up her heart to adoption. And we always knew adoption was something we wanted to pursue. Our question was just about timing. And so she was pregnant with our son Elijah, gave birth, and had some complications in the hospital. We ended up unable to have biological children anymore. And so the conclusion we drew is now rather than later. So that just sort of helped answer the question for us.
Which we were thankful for. And so this was one of those, okay, God closed that door, and so we're going to go ahead and start now with that. Now we have her, so.
There's a big learning curve for us, with Sacred Selections, adoption in general, our home study.
We have confided that I needed to work with the Lord on being content with the gift that He had given me in Elijah. The fact that I couldn't have more children myself because I, at the time, felt broken and really wanted to be able to do that, and understanding that it was okay. We have seen the Lord work beauty in our lives and in many other people's lives. When we thought it wasn't working, it's become more beautiful because it hasn't worked out the way that we thought it should. So, very thankful. Can you point to where you were born? Where do you think you were born? Where is this? Is that Phoenix? Yeah. Arizona? Yeah.
From the financial perspective, Sacred Selections made all the difference in making it possible.
People being giving and kind and having a blast together was humbling to see.
Thinking about how central to the gospel adoption is. I mean, we're adopted children of God and have the right to call Him our Father now. And there's just, again, a value to adopting, supporting adoption, sharing in that, and that's what He calls us to do. Not a super Christian thing, but a Christian thing. Personally and practically, one of the things that I learned along the way is, again, the emotional weight that goes along. And so realizing, okay, there's a toll that this takes on your heart. I know for myself, there was that maybe defense mechanism in my own heart that I wanted to kind of guard and protect myself. Jesus didn't do that. Paul didn't do that. Both of them opened up wide, and that's really what we have to do in adoption, and being ready for that growth and faith building and the way that God opens your heart and deepens your capacity for love. Thank you, baby girl.
I had joked with him about how I needed to master agape love before we adopted. And it was one of those, no, I have grown closer to the Lord, and I am closer now than I ever have been because of adoption. It has drawn so many parallels with the Lord and I in my relationship with God. And I would say anybody looking to adopt, questioning, being fearful, just when we completely trust in the Lord and when we fully put Him at the front of it through prayer and looking through the scriptures of what we're supposed to do, it just makes sense to go all in. Several times I have put myself on the other side and seen myself as a broken and blemished lamb who is not worthy to be adopted by my Lord, and He's taken me in. And for me to say, no, not fair and it's not right. How can I expect the Lord to accept me if I'm not willing to accept one of his lambs, one of his children?
So thinking about all those who've shared in adoption in the past and specifically shared in helping support our adopting Evelina, we just are full of thanksgiving. We thank God for you and for sharing in the Lord that way.
Yes. Yes. And then they get to experience the joy with it too, and when we show them this is what you did, thank you for helping us in this. This is what the Lord's done in our lives, and you've been a part of that. Adoption's beautiful. Adoption is what the Lord has done for us. Without adoption, we would have no hope. And so adoption, I think, is everyone's story and should be everyone's story.